Hello, let's do Wordle for Wednesday, April 15th. Yesterday we spun the wheel. It said to start with allele. I learned that this is just an alternate spelling of allele, like the genetic thing. And I think we're going to learn something very interesting from this. We did indeed. So we learned that not only is there not one L, there's also not two L's. But wait, there's more. There's also not three L's. All right. We do have an E, which is almost as good information. I'm going to move it to the end. So common letters left, not many, just STRN. So I ended in E. What do I want to do? I could use an I and O. I mean, we could do stone. I think that's pretty good. It avoids. Oh no, we don't have to worry about ER, so I'm going to go straight to store. I think store will work better, knowing that E is not fourth. All right. Well, we just got rid of a ton of common letters, and E is not at the end. So I'm going to move E to the middle next. Okay, we might want to do a double E at this point, but I mean, I don't know where I'd put it. Maybe I could do like EVE or E something E. I thought about every, but there's no R. Enemy, actually, seems like a good guess at this point. Wow. Well, we know where E is by process of elimination because it's not in the first spot, third spot, fourth spot, or fifth spot. So E is second. There is an N, so stone would have worked better in this case. I don't know where the N goes. What goes before that E? Are we an NE word? Or are we PE, CE, DE? No idea. You know what's a fun word is deign. Did you deign to do something? Is that even how it's spelled? We'll find out. Ooh, there's a G and an N. Oh, we know there's an N. The N's at the end, is what I mean. Are we doing this? Like vegan? No, there's no A. We can't repeat the E. We've tried it in every other spot. The only other vowel left is the U. So this isn't a thing. Is this a thing? Or are we doing a bunch of consonants somehow? What's this word? This looked a little better. Begun, of course, it's begun. Okay. I had the word vegan stuck in my head, so I was pronouncing it wrong. Nice. All right. Well, that wasn't easy. For some reason, I just kept getting grays and not in yellows. I'm not sure what it is about the word begun that's so weird, but all right. Well, before we do anything else, let's spin the members wheel and see what tomorrow's starting word will be. It will be, I can't read it, Holly, suggested by Jim Riley. So we're going to continue our trend of learning about L's. So that's nice. Maybe tomorrow we'll have two L's in it. You never know. Imagine if tomorrow has two L's in it and you decided not to follow along with Holly. How much are you going to regret that? All right. So let's do some analysis. Yes, I am trying to guilt you into starting with the same word as me. The answer is begun, and we are starting with allele. Well, not on the answer list. That's weird. All right. It's concerned about R-I blank E, or even R-I-S-E. I don't know. But we went store, which is not on the list. We want crest, snipe, spine, or scone. Oh, I was emailed analysis. So we'll look at that. We'll look at that after I analyze my guesses. So I did store. It says store would have lost on judge or spore. Wow, the udge trap. All right. Now it suggests bendy as the best follow-up. Dane is here. I did that fourth, not third. Being, eyeing. So it's not going for double E at this point. Maybe there's not enough double E words left. I went for enemy, which isn't on the list. Bottom of the list is 2.313. Enemy is 2.438. So that's pretty bad. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's actually, Dane was, I mean, there's 7 words left, and Dane and Fane were the two to go for because they get each other. There's no other way to distinguish Dane and Fane. So Dane was actually the perfect guess there, and then begun was the only word left. Nice. Let's go back and I will pull up the analysis I was emailed. I had a question about why the creator has to email me the analysis. Why can't the bot do it itself? So the bot spends at most 1 second on the analysis so that it can actually populate results. So it doesn't actually get through all the possibilities. It starts heuristically and it narrows it down through brute force, but it only spends a second on it. Whereas the person who emails me, Michel say, spends as much time as needed to get the entire brute force tree correctly analyzed, which can take hours. So that's why it's emailed. All right. Some of them are built in, like it suggested starting word and a few other common starting words actually have a built-in tree that gets downloaded. And that's when you don't see that less than equal on here. That means it's a built-in perfect result. So it's saying that trice is actually the best follow-up here, followed by drone, rents, spite, dense. So we're going to follow up with trice. That's fun. All right. So I guess there was a way to avoid these that the 1 second brute force didn't find. So we're down to 36 words. It suggests demon as the follow-up from here. With that E and N, it's only begun, which is going to be hard to think of. Maybe. All right. It starts with tails. So the best follow-up is drone. Notice no less than equal, right? This is our built-in. So drone. And then from here, there's only 7 words left. It suggests begin or begun or feign or nay. So like you could technically get begun in 3, but it's more likely you're getting begun in 4. All right, let's see if steal is similar. It does have the E in a different spot. Wow, we just go straight to Dane here and then begun. That's lucky. Okay. So Dane was a good word. I'm glad I thought of it. Adieu is the most common starting word. We get the E and the U. We're going to go surge. That gets the G, which is very useful. We could go get up begun, or we could get begun in 3. So 3 or 4. Audio is not going to have the E, so we're probably going to test it. No, we don't. We get a bunch of consonants with spurt. Just get those common consonants. That's the kind of guess I would make. All right, spurt. And then begun is a top tier guess. We get in 3, or we'll do something like uncle begun. But we only had 3 words left, so it says just guess one of them, and then the follow-up we'll get it if you didn't get it right away. All right, stare. We have that E. It's going to go lined. Interesting. Okay. And then now we're down to 6 words. It's going to go enjoy or envoy because they get each other, and then that's going to guarantee the word afterwards, begun. Wow, that's tough. We don't even have E and N green. Wow. Okay. Tough one. After stare, trace tries to get in 2. I doubt it does today. We go demon. And then begun in 3 or 4. And finally, clasp is what the official bot starts with. All gray. So we go tired. And then gnome. And then begun. All right, cool. Well, let's analyze in the official bot now and see how people are doing. Alrighty. Saving a screenshot so I can analyze in regular mode as well. First, starting with hard mode analysis, it gave me a 92 skill, 24 luck. Got very unlucky. 5 guesses is above average. Well, I did start with allele, so 53 so far have been brave enough to start with allele. I'm sure this is all my viewers, which is actually kind of neat. And we're not very far into the Wordle day, so. Store, the most common follow-up. If you watch me, you know I like to do store. Stern also, for people who really like consonants. Stoke, spine, crest, chime. Sorry, not chime, crime. Pride, stone. Stone, a little bit less popular. In this case, I often am in with the stone people. But in this case, I went with store because we weren't worried about ER because of the placement of the LOE. All right, enemy, it gave us 78 too. It's actually... I'm not the only one who did it. Bendy is the most common follow-up from here, which is interesting. That's neat. And Bendy actually does very well because you get the B at the start. Dane and feign, I got me a 99. Dane or feign. And then begun is the only solution left. All right, it goes clasp, toner, feign, begun. There's that EIGN again. All right, we've got You know what's interesting is allele is common enough to have jumped it to 138. That's my power. The power of my viewers. All right. Begun gets a 0.3, getting in 1. 2.2, 22.7, 69, nice. 94.9, that's a big jump on 5. 99.4, oh, just move that 4, or swap the 4 and the 9, and you get the next one. People are losing on begin, that makes a lot of sense. Rerun. Nexus, wow. So you just have the E and the U, maybe you're in a DU starter, and you just don't guess the correct consonants, and you end up with Nexus as your last guess. All right, let's refresh and check in regular mode. Begun. There it is. Regular mode. It gives me a higher skill in regular mode. I don't see how that could be possible, but I don't know how the skill score is calculated. It gives a much lower skill for allele. 24 others. Stern, Stone, Pride, Store, Metro, Chime, Shent. That's a fun one. Right, Rinse, Terse. Leave a comment if you were the one who said Shent. Tell me what you were thinking there. Maybe it was a typo, or maybe you know the word. All right. Enemy. Only wanted enemy from there. Some people did busts, bench. Getting that B is very handy here. Dane, and then begun. All right. It goes slate, diner, envoy, begun. This feels similar to another solve we saw, where we only got the NEs. All right. Unfortunately, the allele is less than 0.1 in regular mode for now. Begun is 0.3, getting in 1. 2%, 18.7, 59.1, 88.2. That's significantly lower. Wasn't it 94.9 in hard mode? 97.5. Wow. Yeah. People are using on begin, venue. There's that Nexus again. Interesting. All right. Well, that's it for Wordle. How'd you do? If you'd like to watch me play the New York Times games, you can click at the end of the video. It'll take you right there. I also have a pinned comment with all the games I played today. And if you enjoyed this, why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.